Good evening and welcome back to another special Sunday edition of Maddie's Rap, the show where we rap about things that guys rap about when we're hanging out at the sports bar, the barbershop, wherever guys hang out, wherever we congregate, and hopefully over a plate of food. Anyway, in this week's edition, what we're going to be talking about is, and let me backtrack. You guys know that anytime I do a Sunday edition, I try to deal with something that is, spiritual in concept or social. Well, we talk about guys. We talk about social issues, sports, politics. Even though we don't do politics on Maddie's Rap, cars, electronics, women, relationships, you name it. But on our Sunday editions, we try to dig a little bit deeper and deal with issues that are spiritual or have to do with the human interest or that sort of thing. Well, today's episode is special because if you guys have been following me, you know that I typically don't run these on Facebook, but I am making an exception today because I kind of need a favor. And I'll tell you, this is, I'll try to keep this under 10 minutes because my Instagram crowd, Instagram, IGTV likes you to keep your videos at 10 minutes or shorter. So I'm going to try to keep this short and under 10 minutes. But anyway, back to that favor. Guys, so I want to jump right in here and tell you about share a story that happened yesterday. And if you're paying attention to the title of this video, you'll kind of follow with me. You'll follow along with where I'm going on this. And, if it seems like I'm hesitating a little bit, you have to understand that sometimes when you're talking about human interest issues, especially those that have to deal with our differences, they can be rather difficult to discuss or difficult to talk about, especially in monologue format. I mean, gosh, if I had someone sitting here that I could bounce some ideas off of, it would be a little bit easier to delve into. Anyway, I'm not going to take up any more time. Let me jump right in here. And I'm going to start by telling you guys a story of something that happened to me yesterday. So today's Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. And I was having, the day started off okay, but then, if you live long enough and you experience life, the world long enough, something's going to happen at some point that may make your day less than desirable or less than pleasurable. And that was sort of the day I was having yesterday. So I said, you know what? Anytime my day's, going sour or whatever, I have to kind of change the venue up and just go out, get some fresh air, whatever. And so I decided, you know what? It's almost dinner time. Let me run out here to the supermarket and pick up a couple of items. And as it were, not all of the items that I needed were at one supermarket. So sometimes I float around and go to different supermarkets. We'll do Aldi, Publix. There's a bunch of, and these aren't shouts out to these. I mean, they're not paying me, so this isn't advertising or anything like that. I'm just keeping it 100 with you guys because you guys probably shop at some of the same stores anyway. So, I leave one location and I go to another, and somehow it always seems to happen. But I'm standing there and I'm having a random conversation with a customer at the deli line, and they're telling me about these fantastic wings that I don't eat chicken wings anymore, though I'm always tempted to because wings were my favorite food a long time ago. And if you guys know my story, if you read From Fear to Faith, the Survivor story, you know why I don't eat wings anymore. You know why I don't eat chicken anymore. I won't take up any time in this video going into that. You guys can read the book. The details are below in the links. So in the description, and it's an award-winning book, so I promise you won't be disappointed when you read this story. It's a page turner. Just read some of the reviews on Amazon. But anyway, enough of the plug. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to these people, and they're telling me how wonderful and delightful these wings are, and I'm thinking, maybe I should get some of these for my wife. But as it were, they were out of them, and they said, hey, maybe we'll have some more tomorrow. We tend to sell out of them quick because everybody loves them. So I'm like, wow, maybe I'll sneak and eat one when I do get them. So next thing you know, a guy taps me on the shoulder and says, excuse me, sir. So I turn around and, and let me say this. I don't typically like to get into talking about skin color or anything like that because to me, it doesn't necessarily add or take anything away from the story. But because of the subject matter today, I will go there, okay? So there's this older white guy, and you can look at him, and he's pretty ragged. He's rugged. He's got a long beard. It's kind of unkempt. His clothes are kind of rough, And I could immediately look at this guy and tell he's probably homeless. And so anyway, he's standing there with these two things of fruit in his hand, and he says, "Sir, would you mind buying these for me?" And it kind of took me aback at first, and I'm like, okay, so the first thing that came to my mind, to be honest with you, is I didn't come in here for that today. I just was trying to get a couple of things to go home and make dinner, because my day's been pretty crappy already. So I'm trying to unwind. You know what I'm saying? And I look at him, and it stunned me. So he asked me again. He says, "Sir, could you please buy these for me? I'm really, really hungry." And so I look him up and down, and he says to me, he tells me, he says, "I'm homeless." He said, "I don't have any money." He said, "I'm not asking you for any money, sir." He said, "I'm not going to smoke. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any drugs. I'm just hungry." And, normally I'm like, what is this? Is this set up, somebody? But then I'm like, okay, well, I'm inside a supermarket. So, I mean, what's the worst? And I honestly almost said no, but I said, you know what? I remembered something my mother told me when I was a kid. She said, be careful of how you entertain strangers, because you never know, you might be entertaining an angel unaware. And if I recall, that's the scripture or something. Not one I've read a lot, and I'm pretty well versed in the Bible, but that one I'm kind of a little bit sketchy on. But anyway, that word came back to me, and I said to myself, you know what? Angel or not, man, this guy, I'm looking in his eyes, and I could tell he's really hungry. So I said, okay, sure, sir, I'll get that for you. I said, why don't you follow me over here to the cash register? I'm about to leave anyway. And so I go over, and I'm standing there at the cash register, and actually I went to customer service this particular time, and there was nobody in the line, so I figured, okay, this is quick. I can pay for this cash and then get my stuff afterward. So I go to pay for his stuff, and they ring it up, and the guy, customer service, he's looking like, okay, like he wants to tell me something, but he doesn't really go there. He lets me ring it up, and the total comes to $6.66. Right? Okay, so I'm laughing because some of you know what that number represents if you go to church, or, you read the Bible or whatever, you know what that number represents. But so I'm like, oh, okay, is this bad luck? Is this somebody trying to tell me something? Should I get this for this guy? Or should I just nah, I don't have it. Oh, oops, sorry, I forgot. I thought I had some cash. I don't. What am I doing here? And, but more so than anything, I'll tell you the thing my mind really went to was, I said, God, I got my fantasy football draft on Sunday, and it's 666. Man, that could be bad luck. Oh, man, if I buy this for this amount and I don't change this amount and I have a bad draft tomorrow, man, I'm going to be thinking about this all day. I know it sounds crazy, it sounds selfish, but so I pulled something out of my basket and rang it up along with his stuff, so to get it over that number. And we went and paid for it. The guy left. He said, hey, can you tell me where I can find a fork? I'm like, okay, there's a fork over there in the deli section. Just get it, whatever. He went over there. I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, hey, man, look, was that customer harassing you? And I said, no, he wasn't harassing me. He's just hungry. And I said, I don't mind helping him out. He's hungry. It's a small thing. It's no skin off my back. He says, yeah, but we can't have customers in the store doing that kind of thing. And he says, I hope you don't mind, but I have to report that. And I said, listen, man, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job. You do your job. Look, look, whether you kick the guy out or not, at least you got something to eat. That's all I care about. You do your job. And so we rap a little bit about it, and I move on about my day. And as I finish checking out, I wave at the guy and I say, you have a nice day, sir. And he smiled at me and nodded like, thank you so much. And as he's eating, and I left the store. So here comes the next part of the story. And I apologize. This is going to go for 10 minutes today, so I'll pause for you, those of you that are watching on IGTV, and maybe I'll do a part 2, or maybe I'll just tell you to pick it up on not Instagram, pick it up on YouTube. So if you're watching this on IGTV, when it hits the 10-minute mark, just pick this video up. It'll be on YouTube. It's on my Matt Talford channel, www.youtube.com/C/Matt Talford. Okay, that's my YouTube channel. So I'm walking, and this is where the story gets interesting. So I got to share this with you guys because I have no shame. Look, I grew up poor. I've had a great, career, whatever. I've done some cool things. I was in the military. Got IT background. Worked in corporate IT for 16 years, and had a great career. I have no shame. I don't mind telling my story because that's how you help other people overcome who might be where you were when you were down at the bottom. So I'm walking to the back of the parking lot, and there's a reason I parked to the back of the parking lot. Okay, so let me get right there. My starter went out on my truck a couple of days ago, and I haven't had the opportunity to go and buy a new starter yet and put it on. And part of the reason is because my dad, he knows me, he knows I try to do it myself, and he knows I'm not going to take it to the shop and pay. No offense to you if you're a mechanic and you're watching this, but I know how the shop that you work for, not necessarily your shop, but the shop that you work for, I know how you guys roll. I know how they roll. So I try to do my own work as much as I possibly can. So anyway, my dad said, son, I don't want you to do this by yourself. I'm not a fan of going under a vehicle, I'm like, Dad, I got all the safety equipment. I got chock blocks. I got the lifts and all. I'm good. And he's like, no, not the lift, the ramp. The ramp to raise the back of the vehicle up. I'm good. No, son, we're not doing that. He said, you wait for me. So I got to wait for my dad's next day off for him to help me with the starter. So I've been popping the clutch to start my vehicle. Okay, that's what you do when it won't start with under normal ignition. You got to pop the clutch, and you can look it up if you don't know how to do it. But it basically involves getting a rolling start on your vehicle, putting it in second gear, and holding down the clutch while it's rolling, and then just popping your foot off the clutch or easing it off or wherever that trigger point is to get that engine to start and you roll. And so I parked at the back of the parking lot because I figured, okay, there's enough of an incline here so that I can roll down and just take the parking brake off and just get enough of a roll, or maybe I give it a little shove. And I've been doing that now for a few days, and it's been working fine because I've been picking some good spots to park. Okay, so but anyway, yesterday I didn't have enough of an incline. And I parked in a spot where there was a down ramp to leave out of the parking lot. And I said, okay, if I don't have enough of a slope here, I can push this thing. I'm pretty strong. I'm not bad. I'm not bragging, but I'm pretty strong. Okay, I got strong legs. My wife said that was one of the things she noticed about me back when I was 17. She saw it. She said, oh, he's got some nice strong legs. So, but anyway, sorry, babe, if you're watching this, I didn't mean to put you out there like that. And I'm not going to erase it. So anyway, I'm going down. I picked a spot that's got, I got a backup plan. I'm like, okay, if there's not enough of a slope here, I can't get enough of a rolling start, I'll wrestle the wheel this way and go down this ramp, and that should give me enough. And I don't get enough again. And so now I'm embarrassed because I'm sitting here in a major little thoroughfare in front of the supermarket, and, I'm lucky because I picked a time of day where it wasn't that busy, but I'm like, man, gosh, I gotta. So I'm literally out behind my truck now, pushing it and trying to get a running start. And the road is pretty level. So I'm like, God, what's going on here? And here's where I'm going to get into what I want to finish up with, and why I'm asking if you guys help. Because I'm going to give you a preface now. If you guys, I don't know any names, I can kind of describe them by the car and who they're with. If you guys are watching this and you're my local family, classmates, friends here, local, and maybe you know somebody, you can share this video. And I need to thank this person because the way it went down, I just had so much adrenaline going. Anyway, so I'm rolling, and man, I'm like, wow. Well, you know what? I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep pushing this thing until I get enough momentum going, and hopefully I don't push it so fast that I can't catch up with the vehicle. But anyway, this car pulls around me, and it's a little small car, and they pull out in front of me and stop. And it's a guy in it. I'm going to go skin color again. It's a white guy and his wife in this small four-door vehicle, and he pulls over and he gets out. And he says, sir, you need some help? I said, listen, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to push start this vehicle, and I can't get it going because it's, my starter's not working, and normally I can push this thing and get a little bit of some momentum going and start it. I thought I had enough downward slope, and I didn't, and I'd really appreciate it. He said, sure, I'll get out and help. So he's behind pushing while I'm trying to pop the clutch, but this guy, bless his heart, he didn't appear to be that strong. I mean, it didn't feel like he was that strong because I wasn't getting much more push off of it than me pushing it by myself. So I said, let me get out to take some weight off of this vehicle, and I'll push from the steering wheel outside the vehicle while I'm running. We're running together, and I try to jump back in and pop the clutch, and it still doesn't start. So again, here comes another truck. He passes by, and he sees what's going on, and before he gets past me, he stops. He rolls the window down. He says, are you trying to pop the clutch and kickstart it? I said, I am, sir. And he said, let me get out and give you a push so that way you can get it going. And again, unsuspecting, another white guy gets out. He gets out of this big old truck. It's jacked up. He got some nice hydraulics on this thing. This thing is sitting up pretty. He did some nice customs to it. I wish I knew his name. I'd have dapped him up if I wasn't in my head trying to get this vehicle out of the street just because his truck was hooked. His truck was laid out. I like the way he did it. But anyway, he gets out, and this dude is tall, and he's about 6'3", maybe. I don't know. But I could tell he can get some leverage, and he looks like he could, I don't know if his truck, he works on a farm or whatever, but this dude has some size on him. He looks strong. So he and the other guy got behind the vehicle, and the wife got out. She wanted to help, but the husband had told, he said, hey, just stay with the car. We're fine. We got it. And so the two of them were pushing, and I get a little start going from the outside of the vehicle, and I jump in, and now I got enough momentum, and I pop the clutch, and it starts. And my heart, the adrenaline is rushing because I'm partially embarrassed, even though I have no shame. I'm still partially embarrassed because I gotta, listen, I hate to admit it, but I got a lot of pride, and I thought that I could get this going by myself, even on the flat. That's how proud I am, and that's how much fight I have in me, and not quit. Not stick-to-itiveness, as they call it. That's how much I have in me. So I thought I could get it going by myself. But I say all of that to say, listen, these are two guys that they came out of their way to help me. They didn't have to stop. And I don't even feel like they looked at me and was like, oh, yo, that's a black man, whatever. Listen, they saw a man in trouble with his vehicle. They saw what he was trying to do. They went out of their way to just take a few, 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds out of their day to give me a shove. And my point is, this is where we have to flip the coin. We don't hear enough stories like this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like I haven't had issues or run-ins with people due to skin color myself, where they looked at me or said something a certain type of way or treated me a certain type of way, or I felt like I was being treated a certain type of way. And I got a ton of stories I could share that have happened over the years. But to me, those are fractions of the stories like the one I just told you all. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the media is not going to tell you stories like this, okay? The media is not going to tell you stories like this. But I would be willing to bet that probably more of you than not watching this video have had similar interactions with somebody who doesn't look like you. I don't care if you're white and somebody that looked like me helped you. I don't care if you so-called black and, somebody so-called white help you. And I say so-called here because that's what we really have to get away from, this classification. Now, this is Sunday, so I'm going to go here a little bit. If you look at that Bible that's being read out of and preached out of on the majority of Sundays, you show me one area where race is applied to a group of people, where skin color is applied to a group of people. You see, because, and I'm going to say the Most High, I don't like God because God, there's a bunch of gods out there, really. So to say God, you're like, to me, I know he knows who we're talking about, but I'm going to say the Supreme, the Most High, the Almighty. That's who I'm talking about. Okay? He has dealt, if you look at the history that is the Bible, he's always dealt with mankind in terms of tribal affiliation and lineage. Who are your people? No. Where are you from? What land are you from? What's your tribal affiliation? And who are your people? What's your daddy's name? What's your grandfather's name? Do you know such and such? That is how it's always been dealt with. That's what we got to get back to. But you know what? The problem is a lot of that's been lost. A lot of it's been lost. So you got a people here that have been here for 400 years that have been classified as black, okay, which is a catch-all. It's like me calling, you get every breed of black dog you can think of, German Shepherd, Doberman, Rottweiler, Chihuahua, whatever, and just said, oh, that dog's black. That gives no respect to the breed. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going to come off of that. I'm going to leave that for another video. My point is, regardless of what I look like and regardless of what those guys look like, they saw a man in trouble. They got out. They stopped. They got out of their way to come and help me with that. And so I want to wrap this video up by saying, man, if I had my wits about me and my adrenaline wasn't rushing, listen, I'm an author. You guys hear me say this all the time. I would not have offered those guys money because I know they would have been offended by that or they wouldn't have taken it, okay? But one thing I would have offered them if I had my wits about me and my adrenaline wasn't rushing and I wasn't just trying to get my vehicle and just leave, I would have stopped, talked to them, gotten an email address, and the least I could have done is sent these guys, shipped these guys an autographed copy of my book, From Fear to Faith, A Survivor's Story, and their choice of a t-shirt out of my online bookstore. So I say that to say, listen, Facebook family, for those of you watching this on Facebook, if you got a friend that has a big Dodge Ram. I want to say it was probably a 2500 maybe because it was long and it was big. Maybe it was a 2500, maybe it was a 3500. I don't remember. I just remember it was up high and it had a long extended link bed and it was white. And it's a white guy with a beard. I know that's tall. I know that's not a great description, but if any of you, my Facebook friends, have somebody that meets that description, ask them if they stopped to help a guy whose truck would not start and they gave him a push to get his vehicle going and help him pop his clutch so he can get his vehicle going. Because all I did was I waved at those guys out the window on my way out, and my mother raised me better than that. I mean, I should have turned around, stopped, blew the horn, gotten out, shook those guys' hand, gave them a hug, and offered them a book and a T-shirt out of my store. That's the least I can do. And so I want to do that. I want to tell those guys thank you proper because, again, here was an example of two people that went out of their way. And the other guy was, God, this might be even tougher to describe, but this guy had brown hair, and he was probably maybe 5'10", 5'11", 6 feet tall, little beer gut maybe. I ain't trying to be funny, but maybe a little beer gut. His wife, I remember her getting out of the car vaguely. She had brown hair, and he drove a small four-door, some kind of small compact car. It was a four-door compact car, and the color of it was like a burnt orange. It was like a burnt orange, and that was in front of the same supermarket yesterday. Ask if you got a friend that has a car that meets that description, and he's married, he fits that physical description. Ask him if he stopped to help a guy push his car on Sunday, August the 3rd, in Rock Hill in front of a supermarket. If he stopped at help a black guy push his vehicle and get it started, because I want to give those two individuals a copy of my autographed copy of my book and a T-shirt of their choosing out of my online bookstore, and that's talfordarts.com. So if you have friends that fit that, I'm asking you guys for your help. If you have friends that fit that description, please ask them if they helped get a guy's vehicle going, just help push his vehicle so that he can jump start it yesterday. Again, big lifted Dodge Ram with a long truck bed, white Dodge Ram with a long truck bed. I don't know if it was a 2500 or 3500, but this is a tall white dude, beard, super nice dude that went out of his way to help me. Man, listen, I want to tell you thank you. And to the guy that pulled over and had his wife in the car and got out to try to help me push even before this guy came along, I want to tell you thank you because you didn't have to do that. You did not have to do that. And, I'll wrap it up by saying, what had happened if I didn't buy that guy's food in that same supermarket before I went outside? What would have happened? Would maybe these guys wouldn't have seen me. Maybe I'd have been pushing that a long way. Maybe I would have had to call and get my wife to come and get her car behind mine and push it. I don't know. It may not have ended like that. So I feel like, when you do good comes back to you. When you do good comes back to you. When you do bad comes back to you. And I wasn't looking for no accolades for what I did for that dude. Listen, I was just trying to help him be. I don't know where I'm going to be in the future. I pray I'm not there, but if God forbid, but hopefully somebody would say, hey, man, look, let me help you out. You know what I mean? And I got that actually when I walked out of the store. So all I want to say is, listen, as I wrap this up, I'm going to close this at 25 minutes. It's at 23:49 right now. I challenge you to share stories like this too. If something good happens to you, and obviously a lot of good happens to us, but if there's something that is so extraordinary that you feel like you have to share it, I challenge you to share that on social media. Because what's happening right now is between social media and the news media, all it seems that anybody wants to share is these bad stories. And I gotta believe that there's more good happening in the world than bad. I have to believe that. I'm a personal witness to it. I have to believe that there's more cool people out there that look different, that maybe notice the fact that you look different, but they look past that and see a human being. You know what I'm saying? Or see somebody's energy. Because energy is what we're dealing with. That's why dogs bark at, you ever notice how your dog will bark at certain people and not bark at others? Those dogs are seeing energy. And we got to get back to seeing and dealing with people on the energetic level. Okay, so I want to wrap it up and challenge you to share this. And listen, please like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my Matt Talford channel. I'm coming up on 25 minutes, you guys. I could talk all day. Listen, let me tell you, Maddie loves you. For Maddie's Rap, this has been a special edition of Maddie's Rap. I promise you, Maddie's Rap never goes this long. I usually keep it well under 10 minutes. And I had to get this out today because I mean it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, please share it because, again, I want to know who those guys were that helped me yesterday because I want to give you something. I want to give you an autographed copy of my book, and I pray that my book blesses you. It has blessed so many people that have read it. Is it a religious book? No, absolutely not. It's a story of triumph that I'm sharing, that I wrote to share with the world, to show somebody how you can overcome the most impossible of odds. If you can see somebody else do it, then you can say, you know what, he did it, I can do it too. That's the reason why I wrote From Fear to Faith, the Survivor Story. So for those of you who are not a-religious or whatever, and I don't even consider myself a religious person, I consider myself spiritual. I'm gonna do some more videos touching on some of the other subtopics I talked about here. I'm out of time. Listen, folks, tell somebody you love them and mean it, but more importantly, show them, okay? Because showing somebody you love, you can lie to somebody and tell them you love them and not mean it. But when you showing somebody you love them, that's undeniable. So show somebody you love them. Listen, for Maddie's Rap, I'm your host, author Matt D. Talford. And by the way, check out some of my work. I'm an artist. This is how I eat. So check out some of my work. It's in the description below. You guys have a great week, and look for some more lighthearted episodes of Maddie's Rap. But I had to get this out to you two guys that helped me in that parking lot yesterday at Publix. I thank you guys, and listen, I really do from the bottom of my heart. I hope you guys see this video. I hope some of my friends are able to identify you guys just by the description I gave, and I hope and I'll know you guys reach out to me on Facebook or whatever if you got a Facebook account or through one of your friends. I just need to see a picture so I can verify that's you, and I got you for a book. It may not. I know it's not a lot, but to me, it's a lot more valuable than me giving you guys $5 or $10 to say thank you for helping me, which I knew you wouldn't have taken it because I wouldn't have taken it either. Anyway, have a great weekend. God bless. Peace.